What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday, April 28th edition of the NHL Picks video, sponsored by Prize Picks. I am your host, Josh Harris. You can find me on Twitter at JRH002DFS. And remember, we have a Prize Picks promo. You get one free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum when you sign up and make a deposit at Prize Picks using promo code Awesemo. That's AWESMO. You'll receive an email within 24 to 48 hours after to redeem your free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. Now, we have a tool on Awesemo.com called Odd Shopper. I use it a lot when I am betting, but Prize Picks is basically a prop betting site. So head over to oddshoppers.com. You can use the tools there to help out a lot with your Prize Picks. So check that out. We have a 9-game slate today. It's the second to last day of the regular season. So not too much to play for. Every team who is in the playoff has clinched, so not too much to play for today. Now, there is one team who has something to play for, is the Washington Capitals. If they win, they move out of a wild card spot into third in their division. They are missing Ovechkin, and they are a tough team to stack anyway, but we will get to them in a bit. Now, Cliffy, I talked on Tuesday about how you try to target teams that still have stuff to play for, and Cliffy mentioned yesterday that even if teams don't have stuff to play for, there is a bunch of guys on these teams that are looking to, stick around for the next few seasons. So I think there is some good stuff that you can get to tonight. There are some good power play matchups. Not my favorite slate overall, but with 9 games, I think you can get different. There aren't going to be too many overly chalky spots tonight. So let's get into the picks. We'll start at the center position. And like I started with Austin Matthews on Tuesday, I'm going to start with Connor McDavid. Tonight, he is 8,400 on DraftKings, which is very cheap for Connor McDavid. He is coming off a 4-point game. Now it's Connor McDavid. That's not very surprising. They have a good matchup tonight at home against the Sharks. Now, I should have mentioned this before I started the picks. A lot of people could be sitting tonight, and we haven't got confirmation on who's going to sit, what's going to sit. So it's, please make sure if you're playing tonight to check, hang out in our premium Discord. We have people, alerting people with lineup changes. There could be a lot of people sitting tonight. So just please keep that in mind. So let's talk about McDavid. They're home to the Sharks tonight. It's a good power play matchup. It's a good 5-on-5 matchup. He's 8,400, which is cheap for him. According to the Awesemo projections, he is projected for 20.25 DK points, which is excellent for his price. So I'm in on McDavid. Shocker. There really isn't much analysis you can say for McDavid. You just kind of play the guy and let it happen. The next guy is someone I talked about on Tuesday, and that's JT Miller. His price really hasn't moved. He's 7,100 tonight. He's projected for 14.83 DK points. Now, the Kings, they're playing the Kings tonight. The Canucks are playing the Kings in Vancouver. The Kings' last game sat their whole top line. It's possible that they could sit their whole top line again tonight. So I do really like the Canucks matchup here. And like I talked about, the Canucks are very reliant on scoring on the power play, and the Kings penalty kill depends what metric you look at, but they are one of the worst in the NHL. Bottom 5 for sure. So I'm in on JT Miller. And then if you sort the Awesemo projections by value, the top value center tonight would be JGP, John Gabriel Pageau on the Islanders. They're going to get a matchup with the Capitals. Now, the Capitals have stuff to play for, but they have no Ovechkin. So I don't really love this game for DFS. But if you do need a cheap punt at center, JG Pageau is 2,800 on DraftKings. He's projected for 8.77 DraftKings points, and he is on the top power play. He's been averaging about 18 minutes a night for the past 10 games. So, you're going to get the minutes. You get the top power play. The Caps are a pretty good defensive team, but for 2,800, if he gets an assist and a couple shots, a couple block shots, he's going to pay off at his value. Now, one of the values that I like tonight is Timmy Stützle. They're going to be playing the Florida Panthers. Now, the Panthers don't have anything to play for. Bobrovsky's not in net. It is Spencer Knight. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Panthers sit some guys. Now, even if they don't, the Panthers play pretty high event, and the Senators have been, scoring a bunch. Timmy Stützle is 4,400 on DraftKings. He's projected for 10.86 DK points. He's coming off a monster game against the Devils. Now, the Devils are a much better matchup for than the Panthers, but if the Panthers do sit some guys, 4,400 top power play. He's been averaging almost 20 minutes a night for the past 10 games. So, you're going to get the minutes. He is in his second year, so he's just trying to improve. He's going to get his minutes. So he's an interesting center play that I do love tonight in any format. So let's move on to the wingers. The first winger tonight is Mikko Rantanen. He will be back in the Avalanche's lineup tonight. They're taking on the Nashville Predators. I feel like the Preds are going to sit some guys. They had UC Saros get hurt. He's probably going to be out for at least the remainder of the rest of the season. So it is going to be Dave Riddick in net for the Preds tonight, most likely. Because of the Saros injury, I wouldn't be shocked to see the Preds sit like a Philip Forsberg or a, Matt Duchene, something like that. But for me, Mikko Rantanen's underpriced at 7,200. He's projected for 17.38 DK points. The Predators have a very poor penalty kill. They've been bailed out time and time again by Saros. It's not Saros in net, so I really do love this matchup for the Avs tonight. Moving to the next winger, it is Timo Meier. Timo time. He is under 7K on DraftKings tonight, which is a good price for him. He was up in the 8Ks at times this season. I know the Sharks have kind of fallen off after the trade deadline. They weren't a very good team to begin with before them, but Timo is one of their best players, if not their best player. He's 6,900 DraftKings, projected for almost 14 DK points. Edmonton's in the playoffs. They have defensive issues. They have penalty kill issues. Timo's going to get his minutes. So I do really like Timo at his price. He's kind of in no man's land for cash, but if you're going to pay up for someone that's not Mikko, I think, Timo is probably a pretty good play as well. So let's give you a couple value wingers. First is TJ Oshie. Now, like I said before, I'm not a huge fan of the Caps Islanders game tonight. It just feels like it's going to be a pretty ugly game, but someone's going to have to score on the power play if the Caps get power play, and TJ Oshie is on that top power play. He's 3,400 on DraftKings tonight, projected for almost 10 DK points. Now, again, not a great game, but the Islanders aren't great defensively. So, TJ Oshie contributing on that power play, if he gets on the score sheet on that power play, I think, he's definitely going to pay off his price at 3,400. Now, the top value on the slate, if you sort by value on the Awesemo projections, is someone else who's also at 3,400, and that's Jakub Voracek. Now, they got a tough matchup with Tampa. Maybe Tampa sits some players. We don't know. What we know for sure is Andrei Vasilevsky is not in net. It is Brian Elliott, and Brian Elliott has actually had a pretty good season, but it is still a pretty steep drop-off from Andrei Vasilevsky. And, Tampa Bay has been struggling on the penalty kill. They've been middle of the road at best at times this season. So Jakub Voracek, top power play, top line, seems like a pretty good spot to pay off at his value. And if Tampa sits some guys, on that top line, I think he can get some real good work done. So let's move to defensemen. My first defenseman is Cale Makar, 7,800. Now he's $1,100 cheaper than Roman Josi. I have a feeling that Roman Josi might sit tonight. Now, I wouldn't want to pay 8,900 for them and for Roman Josi anyway. I'd rather, save the 1,100 and go to Cale Makar. He's projected for 16.61 DraftKings points. This is a very good power play spot. Mikko being back, on that top line. I feel like they're going to try to get him into a rhythm, getting ready for the postseason with just a couple tune-up games. So, I feel like at least in the beginning of the game, they're going to be running out their top power play units, and Cale Makar definitely heavily involved in that. So I do love Cale Makar tonight. The second defenseman that I like tonight is Brent Burns. Now, I talked about him last slate, and now he's cheaper. He's 5,500 on DraftKings, projected for almost 12 DK points. He's going to play 25 plus minutes. He's on the top power play. Edmonton doesn't have a very good PK. So at 5,500, I'm fine with Brent Burns. It's when he gets into the mid sixes, low sevens, where it's just almost impossible to play him. But because he's in the mid fives, I think he is a very good play. Now, if you sort by value, top value on the slate for defenseman is Rasmus Anderson of the Calgary Flames. I did like him before sorting by value, but he is down for some reason to 3,600 on DraftKings. Now he is not on the top power play anymore, but I don't think it really matters. He never really took over, scoring that power play quarterback role. He just, didn't really shoot. Now he's coming off a game where he had 7 shots on goal, but he is 3,600. He's projected for over 10.5 DK points. He's playing over 20 minutes a night. And, if he gets an assist and, he has a chance at the block bonus, he's definitely going to pay off at a salary. You normally don't see these guys who are playing like 20, 25 minutes on the top pair being priced this down. So I do love Rasmus Anderson in all formats. Now, before I get to goalies, let's talk some top stacks. My favorite stack of the night is Colorado 1. It's not too much of a surprise here, but what did surprise me was their ownership. Now, if you look at the top stacks, if you sort by top 2 percentage, it's the percentage chance that you have to be a top 2 stack. Colorado 2 is coming in at 26.4% tops per the top stacks tool. Now, their ownership is coming in slightly under 11%. So they're the top leverage play at 15.5% positive leverage. Now, they're also very expensive at 21.6K on DraftKings. If you add in Cale Makar, you're going to be really hampered. You're probably going to be dumpster diving for some other plays, but it is an excellent special teams matchup. I love Colorado 1 tonight. Now, moving to the next stack, a little bit cheaper, it is Ottawa 1, Brady Tkachuk, Josh Norris, and Drake Batherson. They have a, okay matchup. It's not a very good matchup with the Florida Panthers, but I'm suspecting, like I've hinted at in this video, that they're going to sit some players. It's also not Bobrovsky in that. And, Florida has without Ekblad, they can give up some goals. So they're currently projected 11.8% to be a top 2 stack with a 9.5 ownership projection. So they do have positive leverage as well. They're 16.9K. They're not very price prohibitive, and they're fully correlated on the power play. So there's someone I'm definitely interested in. Now, the last stack that I'm going to mention is Vancouver power play stack. Now, if you just want to stack the top line, I think that's fine. Like Connor Garland, not on the top power play. Alex Chiasson is, and he's min price. So if you need, some salary savings there, I think going Vancouver 1 is perfectly fine. But for me, I'm going to look to power play stack. I'm going to go, Miller, Besser, Pedersen, Quinn Hughes, something like that, or just, pick 3 of them. If you need some salary, you can include Alex Chiasson. He is min price power play 1. So if you need a salary saver, I think it is Alex Chiasson, as dirty as that is, but min price top power play in a very good power play spot. It's kind of hard to ignore. So let's talk about a couple goalies that I like. I like Linus Ullmark against the Sabres tonight. He's 8.3K on DraftKings. Now, I don't know if I would play him in GPPs. He's more of, I guess you could, because he does have shutout upside, but he seems pretty safe for cash. The Sabres have a 2.1 total. So, they're expecting the Bruins to win here. Shot volume might be a concern. That's why he's a little bit more of a cash play, because he does have that high win equity. Darcy Kemper at 8K is someone else I'm interested in. He's 8K versus the Preds. With the UC Saros injury, it wouldn't shock me to see the Preds sit some guys. So, Darcy at 8K versus the Preds is someone I like as well. Thatcher Demko hurt for the Canucks, so it's probably going to be Spencer Martin for the Canucks tonight, a 7.6K. He is someone that I'm looking at for any format, especially if the Kings confirm that they are sitting their top line again. So Spencer Martin at 7.6K. And if I had to punt on DraftKings in GPPs, it would be with Philip Gustafsson at 7K against the Panthers. Now, even if the Panthers don't sit anybody, they are a very high shot volume team. So he could see a saves bonus. If the Panthers do sit some players, his win equity goes up a bit. but I think this is a shot volume spot. So those are the goalies that I like. Those are the picks, the lines that I like. So again, remember, if you are playing tonight, please look for updates to see who's in and out. And again, I'll be in the premium Discord tonight if you have any questions about this slate. So good luck, everybody, and hope you win a lot of money.